And to your point, Bradley, like you can't think of a guardrail for every scenario. Because if you did, you'd be in purgatory, never actually innovating whatsoever. You'd never do anything. But I'd be curious to learn, what are your thoughts on setting guardrails in terms of expectation? So, I mean, we're talking about the guardrails of like, hey, you've got $10,000 to run with this experiment, like Godspeed, good luck, make it happen. But on the other side, do you have guardrails around your expectations about the minimum number of experiments that you should be running in a year or in a quarter? Because I think there's a lot of probably people in an organization that see maybe other people running their own experiments and being like, oh yeah, I'll support you, I'll follow you on these ones, but not actually running their own experiments themselves, when perhaps maybe the expectation is like, hey, I want you to be running at least one experiment. How do you go about setting that expectation and putting up that sort of guardrail?
I think it's a carrot or stick kind of method, right? It's the stick of like, you have to run X experiments per quarter to hit your quota and whatever it is. That's one option. The other option is, frankly, you only got promoted at Uber if you ran experiments that were then rolled out to the rest of the company, at least in the operations org, right? So I was always experimenting in my city. And then when an experiment was successful, I would expand the experiment to 5 more cities. I'd get a few more on board and I'd expand the sample size. And then that was statistically significant. And then we'd roll it out to the country. And then once everything was done, we'd send it over to product and say, hey, this is proven, go build this. And then only pretty much once that would happen, could you get promoted in operations. Like there were lots of exceptions, but that was really the main way to get promoted. So there was a carrot of like, you're going to impact the company, which is obviously feels amazing. You're going to improve the metrics and your career is going to be rewarded for it. So that was the kind of carrot method. So we had the like stick where you have to have one big bold bet per quarter that I mentioned, but I'd say the carrot was much more effective of impact the organization, get rewarded, with comp and promotions, and help hit your metrics, right? So you're like incentivized really to run these experiments.